Okay, this tutorial is going to be about using Snap to Grid. Okay, so you should already know how to create a prim. Just right click, go to create, click on the ground where you want it to show up, and there you have it, a prim. Now, you will notice that you can move by dragging it by these arrows right here. Not really too complicated in that, but what if you need to line things up a little bit better? What if you want two prims that are exactly the same distance apart? Well, that's what Snap to Grid helps to achieve. So, say I have one box, and to copy this, I'm going to hold Shift and drag it by one of these arrows. So now I have two boxes, but I want them nice and evenly spaced. I'm going to say 1 meter apart. How do I do this? It's actually quite simple. When you click and hold your left mouse on one of these arrows, you'll notice that there are these little hash marks. You'll see this one here says 230. This one here is, well, 230.5. Each one of these marks is 0.5 meters apart. Now, you say, well, that's nice that, you can measure it, but how do I use this? Well, where my arrow is now on this movement arrow, you're going to see that I can slide it back and forth. However, if I move my mouse cursor slightly up, you're going to notice that it just snaps to that hash mark. And if I move it over, it's just going to keep snapping to these hash marks as I move it over. Now, if I wish to move it more smoothly again, you can do that. These marks will be the best thing that you've ever learned how to use, because you will be able to line things up evenly, exactly over each other. It works best for building buildings and all kinds of other things that you need to line stuff up for. So, I'm going to snap this to this one here, and the other one is kind of far apart. You notice it's not actually on a hash mark. Well, I'm going to do the same thing for that one. And now you will notice that on this in-world grid, 229.50, 231, they're exactly evenly apart. Now, you can also do this by, when you link them together, you can snap them like that. It works on linked prims, it works on edit linked if you're just moving one object. As a matter of fact, it even works on attachments. So say for example, here's my collar. You'll notice that there's a snap to grid when I mouse over my collar. So this is very useful. Now, the other thing that you'll notice is that if you go into rotate, you can do the same exact thing. Snap to. If you move it around using just the circle, it'll move nice and smooth. And if you're trying to snap it so that it's exactly straight up, just move your mouse cursor over this line. And you see all that? You can make it 100% even. So if you do that in all directions, X, Y, and Z, your box will be completely straight up and down, completely even with the in-world grid. However, if you go and snap it to this one per se, it's going to be catty corner, and it'll be off center, and I mean, it works great for all kinds of stuff. Lining things up is especially easy like this, because look, snapped both of them to grid, and there's no gaps. Lining up a wall would be very easy in this case. And that's about it for my building tutorial for Snap to Grid. I hope you enjoyed, and take a peek at my other videos, because each one of them will explain just a little bit more in depth into building.